Everyone, welcome back to the deep dive. You know, we love to get into the nitty gritty of some of the biggest global challenges, and today is no different. We're going to take a deep dive into something that honestly keeps me up at night sometimes. We're talking about the looming global water shortage, and we'll explore how it could even lead to some serious conflict. Based on what we've been reading about, our mission today, to really understand the scope of this crisis, what it means for all of us, and yeah, even look into some of the solutions out there.
Absolutely. And you know what's interesting about this is that it's not just some like far off problem. This is just, happening in some distant corner of the world. It's already affecting communities globally,
Yeah.
like right now. So, if you're concerned about current events, about international affairs, this ties directly into all of that.
Right. And I think a lot of people, when they think about this, the first thing that comes to mind is just not having enough water to drink. But it's so much bigger than that, right?
Yeah. It's way more complex. We're talking about a whole bunch of factors all coming together at once. Think climate change, messing with our weather patterns, pollution, ruining our existing water sources, and just the sheer amount of water we're using. We're over extracting it in so many regions. It's kind of like a recipe for disaster, if you ask me.
Yeah, and like you said, it's not just one thing, it's all these things working together. So, less rain because of climate change, it means lower river levels, which
Yeah.
just concentrates the pollution that's already there. And then you've got the increased demand from agriculture and everyone's just trying to get enough water. It's a vicious cycle.
It really is. And the thing that really struck me in all this material we've been going through is how this water shortage could trigger a whole cascade of consequences. We're talking, food production taking a nosedive, prices skyrocketing. One source even mentioned a potential 30% increase in food prices. Can you imagine?
That's a huge jump. So it's hitting our wallets, it's affecting food security. What else?
Yeah. Well, then think about the economy. Instability is almost guaranteed. And the sources we've looked at predict social unrest on a large scale. It's scary to think about, honestly. Now, the worst part is the people who are already struggling, the most vulnerable among us, they're going to be hit the hardest.
It's almost like we're talking about potential global conflict, even war, over something as basic as water. I mean, is that really a possibility?
Well, history shows us that when essential resources are scarce, tensions rise. Look back at any conflict over oil, land, whatever. When you've got nations fighting over a limited resource like clean water, which, let's face it, is essential for life, it's not hard to see how things could escalate. I mean, the term water wars sounds dramatic, I know, but it's not entirely out of the realm of possibility when you consider what's at stake.
So, all right, let's not end on a totally bleak note. What can we actually do about this? The sources do mention some potential solutions, right?
Yeah, thankfully they do. And there's actually some reason for, well, maybe not optimism, but at least a little hope. The big thing they all emphasize is collective action. Like, we need everyone on board here. Governments, organizations, individuals, everyone.
So, what does that look like?
Well, for starters, investing in renewable energy, that's huge because it would seriously cut down on the water we need just to generate power. Then there's the whole issue of efficiency. We need to get way better at using water wisely, whether it's in agriculture or industrial processes.
I think a lot of people don't realize how much water goes into, making our clothes or even just the food we eat.
Right. And we can't forget about our ecosystems. Protecting and restoring those is absolutely crucial because, well, they're kind of the backbone of the entire water cycle. Healthy ecosystem, healthy water cycle.
So this might be a silly question, but a lot of our listeners are just regular people. What can they do to make a difference here?
That's a great question. And it's honestly something I think about a lot. And the truth is, individual actions, even small ones, they can have a ripple effect. Being mindful of your own water use, supporting companies that prioritize sustainability, getting involved in local initiatives, even just talking about this issue with friends and family. It all adds up.
It's easy to feel helpless, with a problem this big, but it sounds like we all have a role to play.
Absolutely. And if we want to prevent a real water crisis, a real, global conflict, the time to act is now.
So to wrap things up for our listeners, I think the big takeaway here is that managing our water resources sustainably, it's not just some environmental issue, it's about our global security, our future, and we need to get serious about it, like yesterday.
That's exactly right. And thinking about that critical link between water and peace, it really makes you wonder what actions, even small ones, can each of us take to help prevent large-scale water conflicts in the future? What can we do to ensure that everyone has access to this vital resource? Something to think about, right?
Yeah, definitely something to think about. Thanks for joining us on the deep dive, and we'll see you next